this week's Parshat Vayishlach starts with the fight between Yaakov and the angel, Eisav's angel, and then the meeting with Eisav and the subsequent peace that they make. Fascinating story. I believe there's obvious parallels to our own life and the life of our nation on the macro level and us on a personal level. There's a tremendous amount that we could learn about the nature of peace and making peace and conflict resolution, conflict management from this event. And so just to describe what happened, Yaakov fights with the angel all night. Comes the morning, the angel's got to leave, and until then it was basically a draw. Neither of them won, but now the angel has to go, so he basically defaulted. And Yaakov beat him through more staying power. At this point, Yaakov earns his new name, Yisrael, from Yaakov. Yaakov, which was a weak name, it stood for Akev, the heel. Yisrael is a strong name. It has a lot of different meanings that are all come from a strong place, and you see that Yisrael now has the strength. And when he meets Eisav, yes, he gives him gifts and he does everything he can to make peace with him. But ultimately, it's peace on Yaakov's terms. He doesn't just take peace at any price. Eisav wants him to come back to Seir, and he says, "No, I'm going to go my own way." Basically, Yaakov traded peace for peace. He had to give him quite a few animals in the process, but ultimately he didn't compromise his lifestyle. He didn't compromise anything that was important to Yaakov. He did not compromise in this peace. And that was a peace through strength. That was a peace through Yisrael being strong. Can you imagine what would have happened if Yaakov lost the fight with the angel? That wouldn't have been the same kind of peace. Yaakov may have been dead. Eisav may have killed him, but even if not, the peace that Eisav would have demanded would have been a very, very heavy price that Yaakov would have had to pay. That would be the price, the peace of the weak, and you see religion a lot of times is used by certain people, like you see rabbis or especially priests. What I know of them, a lot of people are attracted to that lifestyle because they're weak inherently. They're insecure. They have no confidence with women in the case of priests, or people that feel on rabbis maybe they can't make it in the business world. They go into this sheltered lifestyle where the sort of the religion gives them cover because it sort of could be interpreted as a morality of the weak. The Nazis, the German philosophers of the 1800s, their argument against the Bible was that it was a morality. As opposed to them, the Nazis and the Germans, they felt that might makes right, that they were the morality of the jungle, of the real world, and that the strong are meant to dominate the weak, and that the Bible was a way for weak people to actually get over on strong people through manipulation or guilt feelings, using the Bible as this method for how weak people get over on strong people. And actually, this is how they perceived the Jews in the 1800s in Europe, and they weren't so wrong. The Jews were weak, but the Jews today of Israel and for the past 70 years have been strong, and because if they haven't been strong, the Arabs would have wiped us off the map. The Arabs also, they make peace only when they're strong. They make peace only when they're weak. When they're strong, they dominate. They're not looking to make peace when they're strong. They're looking to dominate. They're willing to make peace when they're weak. In the case of Israel, not even that, because they interpret the overtures of peace that Israel makes to them as weakness. The reason the Arabs haven't made peace with the Jews here is because they perceive us as weak. And the reason they perceive us as weak is because we're offering them too much stuff to make peace. The idea is that the state of Israel is repeatedly offering peace. It's actually a peace from strength. They don't get it that the Israel is super strong. They're seeing more and more this is the case, and yet they're still offering peace because the Jewish religion and the Bible and Yisrael and Yaakov is meant to make peace through strength, not to seek peace only when we're weak. The actual benefit of peace is only when you're strong and you can beat the other person and you say, I don't want to beat you, I want peace. That's the goal. So that's when peace has a value in and of itself, and it's not just a method for weak people to use to get over on strong people. In the same way in our personal lives, we a lot of times there's a saying, you want peace and quiet, but peace and quiet are two different things. Sometimes people in their relationships, whether it's with a wife or a business partner or a sibling or a child or a parent or a friend, anybody really, and there's conflict. A lot of people, they want quiet, they want peace, and they just avoid the topic and they avoid avoid the confrontation. That's not peace. That's quiet, but it won't result in happiness, and it won't even result in a long-term quiet. It's temporary quiet. True peace comes from people recognizing that they have a conflict or an area of disagreement with the other party, and they bring it up and they bring it to the surface and they talk about it as equals, and they demand equality and they demand dignity and they demand to be treated in an equal fashion. And that's how we can resolve a conflict truly in a way where there could be a durable and true peace rather than just quiet, because ultimately the quiet is not peaceful, and it's not, and we know it internally, and we're just not at peace with it. We're just avoiding the conflict, and that's not healthy, and it's certainly not peace. So I want to wish all of us that we dredge up our sleeping dogs, and we work out these issues and take the quiet and turn it into peace. I want to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom from Renana, Israel.